Welcome to the Real and Real Estate Podcast, your go-to show for real estate success. Whether you're an agent aiming to crush it or a buyer or seller wanting the inside scoop, we're here to deliver expert advice, insider tips, and the real talk you need. Each episode, we chat with top industry pros to give you the facts, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive in this business. Let's dive in and make big moves together. Hi, welcome back to the Real and Real Estate Podcast, where we talk to industry experts to get the facts and dispel the myths. And today I'm here with Amy Salazar of California Closets. This may not sound like directly related to real estate, but we all have clients who need to do just a little bit of tweaking with their home. And this is a very important tweak that people could do. So thank you, Amy. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I am one of the designers that work in the Houston location for California Closets. We cover a pretty large area, but we do have two showrooms in the Houston area. We work out of both. So I'm sitting here in my Memorial Spring Branch area showroom. It's on I-10 Chimney Rock exit. But we also have one in the Woodlands off 45 in Lake Woodlands. So we just use these showrooms to show people our product. Most of what we do is done inside the home. But we basically just design and install custom storage for the entire home. So it says closets, but we do work whole home.
Well, I have actually been in your Memorial Spring Branch location, and it's beautiful. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I was listening to the radio the other day, and someone was talking about California Closets, and that they had couldn't decide what to do. Excuse me, they ended up doing their pantry and their laundry room. And I thought most people think it's just the primary closet that most people do. But you do. Tell us everything that you do.
So yeah, the name's a little deceiving. And yes and no. So we probably 60 to 70% of what we do are still is closet related. But that number is kind of slowly becoming more whole home. I would say in the last 2 or 3 years, we've increased significantly the other spaces we do. But our main areas, we pretty much do custom storage in any area of the home, with the exception we try to avoid wet areas. So kitchen and bathroom, we leave to the kitchen and bathroom experts. But we do offices, pantries, laundry rooms, mud rooms, media centers, wardrobes, closets, garages. And then any little weird space that you have in your home that you want to just maximize, we'll figure something out.
Well, I think garages is a great thing because we all need to do that, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about your process. Let's say I'm thinking about, we'll just choose closet, primary closet. Um, I give you a call. Do I make an appointment to come to your office, your showroom? How does this work?
So most of the time when you give us a call, we do the initial consultation in the home. So I
Okay.
would come to your home. We have a really great software. So I bring my laptop, we talk a little bit about what you're looking for, and then I have the ability to design that right in the home. And at the end, you get a full 3D rendering, gives you pricing, gives us lead time and everything. So you get the complete visual of what that storage will look like in your space. And then from there, depending on the complexity of the design, some clients do like to come to the showroom. When we do the home consultation, we bring kind of our standard finishes. But here at the showroom, we have just an endless combination of specialty finishes, including acrylics, glasses, metals. So it just depends. Like if it's a simple project, sometimes we can close it all out in the home. If it's a little more complex, we like to do the follow-up here at the design center.
And so I assume it can be pretty much customized to whatever a client wants. I mean, once you do your design, then they can go, well, what if we do this or do that, or can we change this?
Yep. That's about half of that initial consultation is really just us sitting at the computer with the design, swapping, let's put the drawers here, let's change the hanging over here. Can I see it in this finish? And with the click of a button, I can change the entire finish of the system.
That's amazing.
Um, and then we can adjust sizing and everything down to the eighth of an inch. So
Wow.
everything completely custom.
That's amazing. Now, tell us about some of you can do things like lighting, and do you do like jewelry drawers or makeup drawers or anything like that?
We do. So, the closet, we have a ton of accessories. So tie racks, belt racks, valet rods where you can hang outfit of the day. We have rods where you can kind of stage for packing. Jewelry drawers, we have watch drawers, sunglass drawers, hampers, anything you can think of. We pretty much
You
have
got it.
some type of solution. And if we don't have something specific, all of us designers are pretty creative. We can find something that works.
That's fantastic. I'm one of those people that love organization and trinkets and gadgets, and to have everything to be able to be that specific and that custom would just be amazing.
Yes. Changes your life, really does.
I have so many
Especially for those
clients.
of us that are really like to be organized.
Yes, and I do. I get lost when I can't focus on what I'm doing and know where things are. Not that that doesn't happen from time to time, but that's another story. Um, I have so many clients that you purchase a house, whether it's a new house or a resale, and most closets are just closets. They've got a bar, maybe a couple of bars, a couple of shelves. They might have a shoe rack, they might not. But I have so many clients that one of the first things they want to do is customize that closet, because you can
Mhm.
get, if it's done properly, you can get so much in there, and that just, in my opinion, helps reduce some of the extra furniture you have to have in your bedroom, where you could put in maybe a cute sofa or something, but it's out of the way and it's organized. I've seen closets with glass doors and leopard rugs on the floor. I mean, some of them
Yep.
chandeliers from the ceiling, some of them are just gorgeous. But yeah, many people,
Yes.
that's one of the first things they want to do. And I think it's a good investment in how, they always say, well, kitchens and bathrooms, put your money there. And yes, that is very true. But for someone to walk in and see a beautiful, organized, custom closet, I mean, many times that, okay, done, we're buying this one.
Yes, absolutely. We tell realtors that all the time. We like to partner a lot of times with real estate agents. Just in those, like, how can we make something that's a deterrent in a listing that you have, be an asset? So, I mean, say you have a listing that has a smaller than average primary bedroom, and they walk through and the clients are like, oh, this is kind of small. What am I, they start to
Where's the
picture how
dresser go?
their furniture in there. Then they walk in the closet. If the closet is finished and you can take that dresser out of there, then sometimes it completely changes the way they think about the space. The primary bedroom, the size of it's no longer an issue because they've already pictured, being able to store everything in the closet with the drawers and the organization, that
Yeah.
now all they really need to put in there is, the bed furniture, or maybe a chair. So we just try to work with realtors to be strategic of how can we solve this issue that this house might have.
That's perfect. I actually had a closet one time, and I don't mean to be talking about myself, but and it actually had a makeup area in it. There was a table, there was the lighted mirror, there were the drawers over to the right with all my makeup. I absolutely love that. I can't tell you what a relief it was to have everything in place, all in one spot, my things. I could sit down in my comfy chair and get the day started. It was wonderful. And it was one
Yeah.
of those custom closets.
Yep. And it just makes sense. And we hear a lot from clients that maybe the husband goes to work 2 hours before the wife does, or maybe the wife goes to work 2 hours before the husband. And being able to walk into the space, get completely ready, and not disrupt what's happening in the bedroom that morning sometimes is a game changer for people working different schedules. And same thing with that we were talking about in the primary. bedroom, sometimes that's the primary bath. It's just smaller than normal. They can't imagine where they're going to sit down and get ready. If we can solve that in the closet, even better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, tell me, are there any trends that you see that are becoming more popular in organization, closets, pantries, whatever? Anything you've noticed coming that we should be on the look out for?
I think the biggest trend we've had outside of making those primary closets kind of
Mhm.
multifunctional, the way you talked about having the vanity in there, sometimes having a coffee station in there. The
Oh, I didn't
biggest
think of that. That
trend
would be great.
The biggest trend we've been seeing is multifunctional office spaces. So I have done so many consultations and so many designs on what we call a cloffice. So it's
Oh, I
maybe
love
a
that.
spare room that has a larger than average closet. I actually just designed one yesterday where we turned it into a closet office space. So it makes that guest room not only function as a secondary office, but you can close that door and now it's a guest room. We do the same
Wow.
thing with like wall beds. So we'll go in and design an office space in a spare room with a wall bed. That way, during the week, someone can function in there as an office. But then on the weekends, you have people coming in from out of town. You pull that wall bed down, close the cabinets on your work, and now you have a spare bedroom.
That's
And we've just
fabulous.
been
That's
doing
wonderful.
a ton of that just because there's so many people now working from home or working a hybrid schedule that
Right.
sometimes having two office spaces in the home is a must.
Yeah, and not a lot of homes that you see, unless you're building something really custom, have two office spaces. So turning maybe a fourth bedroom into a cloffice, I love that term, I think is just the perfect solution.
Yep. Mhm.
Well, what else do you
In
see?
pantries, I'm seeing a lot more of doing that kind of like scullery type kitchen prep pantry,
Oh, okay.
where we can have a space that you're plugging in some appliances so that they're staying off of the kitchen counters and more
Mhm.
hidden away, or having a space where we add a sink so you can do that prep work in the pantry. That way, when guests come, you can kind of close the door, the mess is there, and you're able to entertain. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in that area.
That's
Um,
great. I love to cook. That would come in very handy.
yeah,
So,
especially to hide the mess. If you're running out of time, I'm always running
yes,
late when guests are coming, so it would be nice to just shut the door and then deal with it when they leave.
get a little cart, put it on the cart, and shove it in there. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, like I said, this one lady in the on TV, radio, wherever I heard it, she was doing her laundry room as well. So, what can you do for people in that space?
Yeah, we've been laundry room's a big one, especially because that's kind of where um especially if you're not doing a custom build, that's kind of where the builders just kind of stop as far as
Yeah,
storage goes. It's whatever's left over kind of happens in there sometimes. So we'll go in, and if it's just like in my laundry room, for example, it was a shelf and a rod. That was all that was in
yeah,
there. We're able to go in there, take that out, just even putting like a double cabinet, huge difference as far as keeping that laundry room tidy and free of clutter and all of that. With the growing trend of doing stackable washer and dryers, a lot of times
yes.
that kind of changes the way that the laundry room was originally thought out. So we'll go in. I've done a lot of like utility cabinets where we have the stackable washer and dryer on one side. We build a whole utility cabinet on the other side, place to hide like mops, brooms, all of those things that tend to like get shoved in the garage or in a corner somewhere. You have a place to hang them, close the door, keeping everything just really organized and clean.
Wonderful. Well, what do you want to tell us about California closets? What makes you guys special?
I think really just the importance of having somebody come in and sit, getting to know the client, getting to know the space, getting to talk about how you want that space to function is something that is a little bit lost, even when you're doing a custom home. A lot of times, that's not storage isn't always something that everybody thinks about. And just having somebody that lives it day in, day out and knows the questions to ask, because a lot of times it just comes down to knowing what to ask. When you're meeting a client and talking about a space, like, is this going to be your forever home? Do we want to make it super custom to you and how you're going to function? Or is this a house that, you're probably going to sell 5 years down the road? And how can we make this space functional for you, but then transitional and versatile for whoever's going to buy the home? That way we can really think out the way that we're going to lay things out, the elements that need to be there. Same thing with office spaces. Like, are we going to turn maybe a third bedroom into an office, which, when you sell the house 5 years down the road, doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, how can we minimize the built-in so that someone can imagine coming in and using that as a full bedroom that somebody's going to sleep in every day, but still filling your needs for right now.
Wonderful. Now, do you do the whole package? Like, do you get involved in the lighting? Do you get involved in flooring, uh, paint colors? I mean, tell me.
So, not so much flooring. We do have integrated lighting. Our systems do come with backing or not. So if we're going into a closet that already has something in there, we're able to plan with backing so that we can tear out that existing and not have the downtime in between with being and painting. From a budget standpoint, if we're wanting to keep the project, as inexpensive and functional as possible, then we do have that option to have someone go in, tear everything out, patch and paint it. And though we don't do the patching and painting and the flooring, we work with vendors on a regular. So we can kind of help walk a client through that process and know what to expect, so that we can help coordinate all of that to happen.
Oh, good. That coordination is a major thing. Good. So
Yeah.
you have people
Yeah.
that you can recommend and work with. Perfect.
Absolutely. Yep. And we have clients on both ends of the spectrum. We have some that are really handy DIY and they're like, okay, we can take this out ourselves and paint it. My husband has that. And then we have some that like, from the time we sign the contract with you, we don't really want to touch this at all. Like, can you just line all this up for us? We're happy to do either.
Yeah. Call me when you're done, right?
Yeah, right.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so if someone is thinking about, do you charge for the consultation? Like if someone's thinking, I don't know if I can afford this, what would I do? Is there a fee for you to come out and consult?
So there's not. The initial consultation is free of charge. And usually we do also include that one showroom follow-up.
Okay.
After that, when we start to get into doing a bunch of revisions, then we have a conversation of, how serious are you? But to have that initial pricing, to know where you're going to be at, that's all free of charge.
Fantastic. So tell everyone how they can reach you. How they're curious and they're interested. How do we find Amy?
So they can reach me directly on my cell phone or email. So my cell is 810-728-5055. Email is first name, last name, Amy Salazar at calclosets.com. We can always set up a time to meet at the showroom first if they just kind of want to see the product before they really invite somebody into their home. Happy to do that. Instagram's great. So everybody likes to see inspiration pictures and it's really
Yes.
helpful to get an idea of, what are you drawn to aesthetically? So I have my personal Instagram page. We also have a California Closets Houston Instagram page. And we can share both of those links for sure.
Well, I'll be signing up for your Instagram page for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
I certainly can't speak for everyone, but I think making an appointment to come into the showroom, that's where I would want to start, just so I can see some of the things you have to offer.
Yeah. And we have a little bit of everything in the showroom in both. So like here I'm sitting, I'm looking at the laundry room that we have set up. To my left, we have the media center, closet in the back. We have a pantry behind me and then a home office with a wall bed. So you really can
Oh, a
see each
cloffice.
of those areas. Yeah. Each of those spaces on display here, and then all of our finishes.
Fantastic. Well, we're getting close to time, Amy. Is there anything else you want to tell us about you and California Closets that we haven't talked about yet, that we've missed?
I mean, I think that the biggest thing is just spreading the word that we don't just do closets.
Yes.
I think that's been the hardest thing. I don't know that the company, when they started 40 something years ago, thought about the name as much. And so now that we're transitioning into whole home, it's been a little bit of a struggle spreading the word. But I think the showroom speaks for itself when you come in and you see all the areas we're able to accommodate.
And I've been to your showroom. It is beautiful. And things that you have there that I never even thought of. It's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
yes, I need that. I want that.
I always tell people when we leave the home consultation, when I invite them to the showroom, I'm like, fair warning, tends to be more expensive when you come to the showroom because that's exactly what happens. They're like, oh, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that, or that's beautiful. And we, start to get our minds working
Revise.
a little bit. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to that trouble, you need to have it the way you want it. And if adding
Absolutely.
lighting or, makeup drawer, whatever it is it'll be worth every penny.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I will be following you on Instagram, and I hope everyone else out there is. And go by and see Amy at the showroom. You're going to enjoy the
Yep.
showroom. I
Mhm.
promise you, people.
And just to know that we do, I mean, sometimes California closets, I think, comes with that stigma of expensive. And while we can be, we also work really hard to be able to design something in a budget for anybody. So I always say, like, it's a challenge for me. To give me a hard budget, and I'll work as hard as I can to get something that you like in that.
That's wonderful because that's important to people. You know,
Absolutely, it
just
is. Mhm.
tell you how much money you're going to spend and you make it work.
Yep. And I say that to people all the time. I'm like, well, how much do you want to spend? And I get a variety of answers. And I'm like, if you tell me, I'm going to give you something in that. So sometimes I have to be like, well, what would you be excited to spend?
Oh, I
That
love
usually
that. Yeah,
works.
I like that very much. All right, Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Please, everybody, go check out the showroom. Talk to Amy. Thank you for tuning in to the Real and Real Estate Podcast. I hope today's insights have inspired and empowered you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with anyone who might benefit. Have questions or a topic you'd like us to explore? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep moving towards success.